And I think it's important to sort of really get to know the audience here because talking to different utilities, people are in very different stages. There's some amount of confusion, but there's also some amount of clarity. And it's really good to kind of hustle on how we look at these ideas together. So, what I would love for each one of our speakers to do today, so I'm going to start with Chuck. And what I want to hear, Chuck, is just kind of go and share a little bit more about, what specifically your work in Electroscan is and where Electroscan is really diving in this space. And maybe one other question for the audience to get to know you better. What in your life, in terms of purpose, brought you into the world of water? Because I think we all have a why, and that's what makes water people so committed and dedicated and passionate in this room. So it would be great for the audience to connect to you with your why.
Well,
So go for it.
great. I'll start with that. I was actually poor boyed into getting into the business. I was gonna be somebody, a venture capitalist in Silicon Valley, and my father had a heart attack, and we had a little business called Hansen Software back in 1980. We did work orders for water and sewer agencies. Yeah, I'm 66. So I told the VCs that I would only be up there for a month or two to close down the business, and finally sold the business 27 years later. So that was how I got into the business. Electroscan was a little bit different because I got a phone call from Dr. Ken Carey. Many of you know he wrote the EPA manuals on water and wastewater, and he asked me, Chuck, we're having trouble with our cured in place pipe finding defects. And I said, well, what does the CCTV have? He says, Chuck, CCTV can't assess sewers. I go, Ken, really? I mean, I made a fortune on CCTV. He says, no. He says, we need a new technology. And that was Electroscan. Fast forward a couple of years ago, Water Research Federation, I'm not sure if we have any representatives here, did two interesting studies. One was on the fact that there were no commercially available products to find buried lead pipe. And the second study was actually the success of using and measuring electrical resistance to locate the difference between copper and lead pipe. So we decided, given our products for water and sewer, we decided that we'd have to downsize our products we're using on larger diameter pipes. We, of course, had to get into pressurized systems. And we also had to make sure we could do multiple 90-degree bends. And so I actually present to you the world's first device to locate buried lead pipes with 100% accuracy. This is called a SWORDFISH. We're not really releasing it until AWWA. I just happen to have one, so I thought I'd come out and show you about how you can now find buried lead pipe in your area down to half an inch. So that's my story.
Chuck, when you hear some of these metrics of 60% of schools are have lead in their pipes and things that you're just reading generically on Google as your source, and the Safe Drinking Water Act says basically now they're reduced the maximum allowable lead content to be a weighted average of 0.25% calculated across a bunch of pipes and fittings. How, as Electroscan, as one of the sort of solution experts, how are you guys able to help utilities sort of address both the requirements from lead copper rule, but like rightfully Michelle said, no one's been waiting for a rule to actually make this right. How are you looking at it from the utilities in terms of helping them?
It's interesting in that utilities aren't really the problem, because we've over the last 50 years we've probably had $1 trillion invested in service lines, and they've been through private contractors, plumbers, whoever. So the folks that have been digging up lead and maybe replacing it with copper or with galvanized steel or plastic, what have you, really hasn't had anything to do with utilities. Electroscan was interesting. We started seeing these readings. We've done about 5,000 miles of pipe in the U.S. and the U.K. And we started seeing these blips on asbestos cement pipes. And of course, from a utility standpoint, we use a lot of lead to seal those joints. In fact, I can go on YouTube right now, even though it's not legal, I can find out from plumbers how to melt lead. So I've got little lead ingots so I can go and do exactly that, solder joints with lead all over the country. So this is not stopping. So what we're finding is, although utilities do have this issue, we're looking at service lines only. We're not looking at any of the mains. In fact, people don't even, I know cities that don't even like to say asbestos on their maps. They don't like AC on the maps. They call it CA. I go, what's CA? Because they don't want that word out. So we've got other issues, but focusing now on lead, I get just as many calls from California utilities that have no lead pipe and that want something to prove to their clients. They just want something so that the crews can go out and actually do a quick study, insert into a pipe just to show, look, your pipe isn't lead. And so there's a lot of different factors that are going in, whether we're coming in from a curb stop or coming in from the meter and doing that. And nobody wants to pothole and deal with customers digging up their front yard, the mess, the dirt. It just really has been problematic. So everybody has been looking for some other way to deal with that. So there's a number of things that are going on. I'm not sure the current replacement strategies will cut it, because I do believe, like in Flint, we are going to have homes with high lead readings that don't have lead services. And the problem is going to be upstream. And eventually we're going to kick the can down, as we normally do in DC. We'll kick the can down and finally take care of that. So I think it's just going to be a lot of business as usual, but at least we'll take care of the most obvious things if we can find that. So I think that's the interesting dynamics I'm seeing.
So a follow-up question to that, Chuck. What do you think the rule has actually helped achieve?
I think it's done a lot of visibility for companies like Blue Conduit to inventory and know that we have. I mean, I've known Jack Dangerman for 30 years. I loved how ESRI came up with what was called the near command. You know what the near command was? That was where I had a polygon, let's call it a parcel, and I would go to the middle of that parcel, and the near command would put that parcel directly to whatever pipe was close to it. Because I did go to the expense of doing the sewer main or the water main. And of course, 6 out of 10 times, the parcel was not connected to that main. It was in the back easement or some other location or across the other side of the street. So it's really brought up how horrible our records still are today. And how our records really need to be cleansed. That still needs to happen. And again, as Blue Conduit would say, if I've got a lead pipe on one side of me and another lead pipe on the other, there's probably a good chance I have lead pipe. But I'm still going to want to get it tested, because I did have a plumber because I had an issue, and he was down there. And of course, we know plumbers, if I've got 50 feet from the meter to the main, he put in 60 feet of pipe, right? Because he gets paid by the foot.
Yeah.
So that's why I have to have something that goes and deals with multiple bends and curls and things, because that contractor got paid for 60 feet of pipe, and that's never going to be on the map. So it's a can of worms. We want to kind of deal with what the EPA has graciously looked at first. I think it's fantastic. But there are going to be unintended consequences when we get down the path for this. I have a client in the East, and despite the best desktop system that they did, and the media coverage, pulls me off the side, and he goes, Chuck, we've already taken out $15 million of copper pipe. How can I keep doing this? So this panel is, and we know the EPA is 100% removal of lead. We are also in the business of 0% removal of good pipe, copper, plastics, whatever else we're putting in. So, because that is going to take money out of your pocket fast if you're not making those decisions. And I agree with Eric. You've got to be able to prove and be 100%. Even with a swordfish, we have our guys say, and we've looked at 3M. They've got a lead test. By having an actual device that goes in, we always do things by belt and suspenders. We want to make sure before we dig that thing up, yes, we've got lead down there. So the ability of having an unambiguous decision of yes, there is or not is absolutely critical. You've got to make that. You've got to make these dollars last. So you're getting a bonanza of funds to make this happen, consultants and utilities. So, let's bring the right tools to the right job.